Talk 1240.
Good wet morning. This is Binary here on Hot News Talk Radio. I'm Russell, your host here. We're going to be talking about computers and your smartphone, your tablet, whatever other computational device you might have. There's a heck of a lot of them out there. We're going to be covering all of them here on Hot News Talk Radio, and this is Binary. It is a terrible day for driving today. I was coming in, and for some reason, down here in the South, where we live, it's really bad whenever there's any sort of moisture because everyone suddenly forgets how to drive whenever there's anything that slightly resembles rain. And oh gosh, when it snows, forget about it. You may as well just stay in your house and never leave ever again when it snows, because snow is like a death sentence for you if you're wanting to actually leave your house. People treat snow like it burns on contact, and if you ever happen to leave your house when it's snowing, you'll just die. And I don't know why, but that's just how we are down here, and I'm not sure. I mean, I grew up here. I've always lived here, never been anywhere else. And you know what? It's kind of funny because I feel sort of a disconnect with that. But hey, whatever. I've always been sort of an outsider anyway. I'm sort of the guy who's always been kind of different, and it's worked for my benefit and for my not benefit quite a few times. But we're going to be talking about music today, which is one area where I'm very much an outsider because for some reason people don't like to listen to samples of Korean K-pop mixed with samples of beluga whales, and I don't know why. With a hip drum beat that was put together in Fruity Loops. I don't know why people don't like that, but hey, okay. Well, there's lots of different ways to listen to music, and especially around this time of year, we like to listen to a lot of seasonal music, right? Like themed music, I guess you would say. And we sort of have a problem finding it, right? Like, how do we do that? How do you just go and listen to music? It seems like there's about 50 million different ways to do that. But how do you go about doing it? What are the best ways? Because it does get kind of confusing because when you have about 4,000 different ways to listen to music, it gets to be kind of hard to find the best way to do it. So we're going to delve into that. By the way, today is Wet Nose Wednesday. We're sponsoring Bogey the Labrador, or Boogie, I should say, the Labrador Retriever. Go to McCameyAnimalCenter.com and you can check that out. And also, the easiest way to do it actually is to go to our Twitter, Hot News Talk Radio on Twitter, and you can see the particular animal that's being sponsored there from McCamey Animal Shelter. It's Wet Nose Wednesday here on Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. That's McCameyAnimalCenter.org, and you can go to that website and you can see the animal that's being sponsored. But an easier way to do that is to go to Hot News Talk Radio on Twitter, and you can see we just tweeted it out like 5 minutes ago, so you can check that out on our Hot News Talk Radio Twitter. We're also brought to you by Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds. There's a total store sale going on right now, and today is the perfect day to do it because it's right before Christmas, and you know what? This is the best time to be buying stuff for Christmas because you don't want to be white like I was. 50, 60, and 70% off on designer jewelry and gifts. Also, get cash when you sell gold, silver, bracelets, rings, diamonds, jewelry. Rick Davis will pay you cash personally. That's cash, cash, cash. Get some today at Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds. So be sure to definitely check that out as soon as you can. Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds. Now, what's the best way to listen to music? That's one of those questions that has haunted a lot of people for a long time. Music has changed quite a lot since the last maybe 20 years or so. Music has changed a lot because suddenly we went from having CDs and tapes and records to now having digital music where you can listen to it pretty much anywhere, on the go. The whole concept of the iPod changed a whole lot of different things about our everyday lives. And it's sort of a fascinating thing to get into because it's not something that we think about. It's one of those things that we really just take for granted, the whole concept of listening to music on the go. We really take that for granted in our day and age. And there's a lot of different ways to do that. So we're going to go over all the different ways to listen to music, both on the go and sitting in your living room. The number one thing that people generally listen to, interestingly enough, even though I'm really not a fan of it, is Spotify. People really like Spotify, and I kind of don't. I get why it's so popular because it's really easily accessible. You can share playlists, and it's not a bad service. I just don't like it very much. It doesn't fit with my tastes, I guess. It's way too, what's the word? It's way too, I guess pedestrian would be the word, but it's too I don't know. I just can't get into the interface. It's not for me. But if you like it, hey, cool. Spotify is one of the things that you can use to get a bunch of music. And they actually have curated playlists that are put together by different, even celebrities and TV shows and such will put together Spotify playlists. And that tends to be like the most mainstream way to listen to music on the internet is with Spotify. So you can go to that and you can see all the different music that's available for you on there. And again, they're curated playlists and such, and you can go there and you can see Christmas playlists so you can listen to it. And there are ads on Spotify. In fact, that's kind of the case with most of all these music services. There are ads, and that's one of the downsides to it. If you get a pro account or whatever on Spotify, you actually don't have to listen to ads, but chances are you're not going to do that. So yeah, there's also one other thing that's sort of another popular service is Pandora Radio. Now, Pandora is a different concept from Spotify. With Spotify, you can pick a particular song, and then you can just listen to that particular song. And then you can pick another song and listen to that particular song. It's very specific. But with Pandora, it's sort of like a radio station, but not as good. Of course, radio will always be supreme. But Pandora is another way where you can sort of just choose a genre and then hit play, and it just plays music from that genre or category. So let's say you want Christmas music. All you got to do is type in Christmas and hit enter, basically, and it'll start playing Christmas music for you. You do have to open an account to use it, which might be a downside for you. There are apps for both Spotify and Pandora, and they're easily attainable in either the iTunes App Store or on the Google Play Store. Another way to listen to music, which is actually the way that I tend to do it, funnily enough, is with Google Play Music with the radio feature on Google Play Music. So all you have to do, if you have a iPhone even, you can still do this. All you got to do is go to your app store. I'll open up mine. It's I'm using an Android phone, so I'm on the Google Play Store. Just hit the search button and then type in Google, right? Play, okay, music, Google Play Music. Hit the search button, and then it should pop up. It's a little set of headphones. You'll see it, orange and yellow headphones. Click on that, and then you'll have an option to install it, and then you can use your Gmail account to sync up with all your stuff, and it's a really, really a nice service. I'll go ahead and open mine up, and I'll sort of give you a walkthrough of the different things that are available. I have a lot of music on my computer that I've ripped from CDs and downloaded from different services and such, so I have a lot of music. And the cool thing about Google Play Music is that you can set it to stream folders from your computer. So I've got a whole bunch of music. I've got something like I've got quite a few thousand songs, I think, and a few thousand albums that I stream with Google Play Music. So this way I can listen to my music anywhere, and I can download something from, say, Bandcamp, and then put it in a folder, and Google Play Music will find it and start streaming it within the next maybe 15 minutes so I can listen to it. And it's a great way for me to listen to music. Now, I get that most people don't download their music. A lot of people just stream it whenever they want to. But sometimes you might want to download it. And one way to do that, actually, I see it's kind of popular. I don't do it that much personally, but a lot of people like to, is to go on YouTube and just use a YouTube downloader. And there are a heck of a lot of those out there. Generally speaking, just search for YouTube MP3 on Google and you can find whichever one you like. They're all different, so you'll find one that'll fit your taste. I tend to use youtube-mp3.com, and that one tends to work really well for me. And you just put in you just copy and paste the link from the YouTube video into the bar on the YouTube MP3 downloader, and then you can just download the MP3 and listen to it on the go that way without having to rack up your data plan because you're watching a YouTube video in your car. That kind of charges you a lot of money to do that, actually. So that's one way to do it. And Google Play Music, the kind of cool thing about it, and I know I'm talking about it a lot, that's because I use it a lot. The cool thing about it is that now it has radio. So you can actually, it's not real radio, but it has streaming music that's been part of a curated playlist. So right now, say there's Christmas music. So I'll just tap on that, and it gives me a few options: the biggest Christmas hits, hip Christmas, Christmas instrumentals, cozy Christmas, pop Christmas, Christmas rock, all sorts of Christmas stuff. And I'll type on, say, Christmas instrumentals, and then it gives you different playlists, even within those categories. So I got classical, jazz, and acoustic guitar are three playlists I can choose from. So then I'll tap on acoustic guitar, and it'll actually then give me artists on the station. I can just hit play, and it'll start playing the music from the acoustic guitar Christmas radio station. Right now, it's going to start playing, say, Silver Bells by the O'Neill Brothers Group. Now, I'll mute that because I don't want to play that over the air. But you do have ads, which you can skip. It's just like YouTube. So they have ads that'll pop up, and you can just hit skip ad. So it's basically exactly like YouTube in terms of the ads that pop up. And it's really nice, actually. It's a great interface, and it's unobtrusive. I like it a lot. Now, what about buying music, though? And what about just finding new music to listen to? Because Spotify and Pandora are great for finding new music, but you're not going to get music from, say, weird, obscure indie artists or anything, which is what I'm into. And even if you're not, there are quite a few different bands out there that have different ways to download music that you might actually be interested in. One way, say, if you're looking for music of a certain category, you can actually go on a website called SoundCloud, and that has a whole bunch of different artists who are putting out their music for streaming for free. So you can find a whole bunch of different artists who are just streaming their music out there for you to listen to. So go to SoundCloud, and then you can search for pretty much anything you want. There's all sorts of fun stuff on SoundCloud. I've even got an account on SoundCloud. You'll find podcasts on there. You'll find music on there. Pretty much anything that can be audio, you'll find on SoundCloud. It's a really fun website. Another one, if you're actually wanting to, more music centered, is bandcamp.com, and you can find all sorts of music streaming from there as well, and you can download the app for that, and you can stream your music which you've bought from Bandcamp. Lots of different bands are on Bandcamp, actually, and they'll have options to buy their records, so you can actually get a physical copy from there as well if you want. Another option, interestingly enough, that a lot of people don't think about is actually Amazon. Amazon, funnily enough, actually does have music streaming. It's just we tend to not think about it, but Amazon MP3 is a huge service. It's funny that we don't think about it as much as we do, but Amazon MP3 is actually really accessible, and most of the music that's sold on Amazon actually is available with Amazon MP3. You'll find stuff that's not available anywhere else on Amazon MP3. It's kind of weird how that works out. And you can actually get the Amazon MP3 streaming app so you can listen to it streaming live that way. And even better, if you have Amazon Prime, you can stream pretty much anything in the Amazon MP3 library with your Amazon Prime account. And I know a lot of people around here have Amazon Prime just because Amazon is here. So it's a very valuable service for people who want to listen to music streaming on the go. So there's lots of different ways to listen to music, and we're probably going to be seeing a bunch more methods of listening to music coming up soon. But of course, the best way is to support your local record store and go in and talk to people to discover music that you might like. So your local record store is probably your best option. I'd say it's definitely your best local option for getting music. But if you want to go the tech route, I should say, which of course you should, then you can get those different services. This is AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. Coming up next after me, we have Colin Cowherd. He's our national sports talk show host here on Hot News Talk Radio. And then we have Keon Rose. He's on from 1 to 2. From 2 to 3 is Sean Hannity. And then we have Hot News Live at 5, which is on from 5 to 6. And then we're back with more Colin Cowherd, America Now with Megan McCain, Ground Zero, and Coast to Coast AM with George Noory, all right here on Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. And we're always streaming live at hotnewstalkradio.com. By the way, if you get the TuneIn Radio app, you can listen to us streaming live over TuneIn. And that's one of the best ways to listen to us actually on TuneIn. So all you have to do that is get your smartphone out, or your tablet even. You can even do it on your desktop computer. You don't have to download anything if you do it that way. But what you do is go to your app store. So say I'm on my Android phone, so I'll hit the Play Store, and I'll just search, and I'll cancel out the last search I did. I'll search for TuneIn, which is all one word. And for me, it actually just pops right up. So I'll tap on that, TuneIn, and then I can install that, and I can listen to the radio streaming straight to my phone. I'll go ahead and open it up and show it to you. So what I do is I tap on TuneIn Radio in my list of apps I have installed. It takes a little bit to load sometimes, and it starts playing Hot News Talk Radio. So all you have to do is search for Hot News Talk Radio, and then you can listen to it streaming live that way. And there's lots of different options on there, but of course the best one is Hot News Talk Radio. So all you have to do is search for Hot News Talk Radio. Then you'll see it popping up there. You'll have our logo and everything. Tap on it. Looks real nice. And then you can listen to it streaming live on Hot News Talk Radio. And we have quite a few followers. We have, of course, one broadcast running, which is the one that you're listening to right now, streaming straight from our computers here to the TuneIn broadcast, and also to our broadcast tower over here in Saudi Daisy. So great ways to listen to us here at Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. And we're always here at hotnewstalkradio.com as well. Be sure to check out our Twitter, that's Hot News Talk Radio on Twitter, where you report the world decides. It's AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio on Twitter. So there's a bunch of different ways to listen to us streaming live on Hot News Talk Radio. Don't forget that today is Wet Nose Wednesday. So if you're interested in, say, supporting animals who have been abused or what have you, McCamey Animal Shelter is a great resource for that. Hot News Talk Radio's Wet Nose Wednesdays today. Boogie the Labrador Retriever is there, McCameyAnimalCenter.org. So be sure to go to McCameyAnimalCenter.org. And you can go to our Twitter and see the link that we've posted there at Hot News Talk Radio on Twitter. See the link we've posted there about McCamey Animal Center there at Hot News Talk Radio. You know, the smartphone is one of those sort of, for a lot of people, untapped resources. It's kind of weird to me sometimes to think about people who don't use their smartphone to their full potential. And it weirded me out so much that I thought I'd help people out. So the whole concept of the smartphone is kind of new. Basically 2007-ish is when the first modern smartphone came out. And it's kind of funny when we think about the iPhone and how revolutionary it was when it first came out. But when you look back at the first iPhone, it was kind of not very good. The very first iPhone that really just, the first iPhone that ever came out, it really wasn't that great in terms of functionality. It didn't do anything that other phones hadn't done before, but it was well marketed. We're talking about the very first iPhone that came out. It was well marketed, and that was the big push for it. It didn't really do anything new, but it was really well marketed. I mean, it was all hardware that was basically off the shelf for the iPhone, and the iPhone is still built from hardware that's basically off the shelf. That's sort of Apple's history, actually, is just building hardware from stuff that's already available and compiling it into a nice shiny package and then selling it for a really high price. That's basically Apple's model. And if you like that, hey, fine. But the first iPhone, there are a lot of features kind of missing from it. Fortunately, we have them now, but the first iPhone was not actually as good as some of its competitors, which is kind of funny to think about, considering how far it came. And now it's one of the leading platforms. It's not the leading platform, but it's one of the leading platforms for smartphones in terms of market share. So the iPhone is one of those, and smartphones in general is one of those untapped markets for a lot of people. It's one of those untapped resources. We don't use them the way that perhaps we should. So let's say you're a small business person, right? You own a small business and you're trying to organize everybody and you're trying to make everything mesh well, but you don't have a smartphone. And it's because you're kind of an old-fashioned guy. That's understandable. Lots of us are. You're kind of an old-fashioned guy. You've got yourself your flip phone, maybe. You've got yourself a Motorola Razr. You've got whatever AT&T gave you when you first signed up, maybe 2005 or so. You've got yourself a little, they call them dumb phones. You've got yourself a little cell phone that just makes phone calls and texts, and maybe it'll take email too. So you've got yourself your smartphone. And you're paying for a data plan, but you don't really use it because you just have a dumb phone. Well, here's the thing. Chances are, if you're paying for cell service, you're also paying for a data plan. And that data plan is going totally unused. You're basically wasting your money if you don't have a smartphone, but you're paying for a data plan. So that seems kind of nonsensical to me. So the best option is to contact your provider. Say you're with AT&T or Verizon or T-Mobile. Chances are they have a contract for you that you can get a smartphone for a lower price than normal and use it on the plan that you're already using and keep your same phone number. Now, if you want to go with a third-party method, you can also go with, say, Boost Mobile or Metro PCS. There's lots of different options out there for you for getting a smartphone that's off the main grid of contracts, so to speak. T-Mobile has no contract plans. Most of the carriers right now do have no contract plans. So if you want to just buy a smartphone and then have them set it up so you're buying the smartphone for full price, but you're using it on your same network, you can do that too. But you need to get yourself a smartphone, especially if you're running a business, because it basically replaces everything in your briefcase. So in your briefcase right now, you've got a calculator, right? You've got your planner, your day planner. It's got your calendar and everything in it. You've got your contacts list that has everybody you're wanting to contact for your business in it. You've got everything in your briefcase, but all of that can be replaced, except for maybe your lunch. All of that can be replaced with just one little brick. One little smartphone can replace everything. Even an older smartphone can replace everything that you've been carrying around in this giant briefcase with you the whole time. And so you'll be with the times. You'll be in the 21st century finally, not in the 50s anymore. And you can use a 21st century device. And look, these smartphones are designed to be used by everybody. A lot of people are afraid of smartphones because they think, well, it's going to be hard for me to use. It's going to be confusing. No, chances are it's not actually. Smartphones are designed to be used by everybody, and that includes you. So a smartphone is designed to be easy to use. The engineers for these smartphones don't sit down and go, how can we make it confusing for the older people? They don't do that because people who sell smartphones want to sell smartphones to everyone. They want them to be usable by everyone. So the smartphones are nowadays especially not hard to use. Now, you might need a little bit of help setting up, and that's why we're here at Hot News Talk Radio. You can call us, 423-800-8949. That's 423-800-8949. And actually, I'll tell you what, if you really want to, I can give you help over Twitter if you're having trouble. So say you're having some problems getting your phone to work or your email or different computer problems. I'm more than happy to help you out or to get you connected with someone who can help you if I'm not able to. Get me on Twitter. It's Radio Russell on Twitter, or you can get us at Hot News Talk Radio. I'm always checking our notifications on there as well. So I'll be very happy to help you out if you have any problems with your smartphone. If you're having one now, go ahead and call 423-800-8949. Problems with your smartphone or your computer or anything else computationally, 423-800-8949. This is Hot News Talk Radio.
I'm blowing everything up. We're starting over. I'm doing a new show. I want guys who push it to the middle of the table and go over the top. Take a risk, fail miserably. I'm right, and I'm not wrong, and I'll never back down. Conflict works. Allow it.
It's The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Right here and everywhere. Noon Eastern.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
Fox News Talk 1240.
Lay your burdens down at the Woodhouse. Leave all your worries at the door. Just take some time. We're transforming life.
Happy holidays
At the Wood.
from the Woodhouse Day Spa. Holiday gift cards available at chattanooga.woodhousespas.com.
We live in uncertain times. From extreme weather and natural disasters to civil unrest, don't panic. Be prepared. With protective gear and medical supplies, tactical and camping equipment, long-term food storage and water purification, ammunition and knives, alternative power solutions and lighting, P5 Preparedness has the products and training classes to help you through life's catastrophic events. P5 Preparedness at East Brainerd and Panorama Drive.
You have an event coming up for the holidays, or maybe it is your daughter's wedding, or maybe just a church or office party, then you need to select Choo Choo Barbecue. That's correct, Choo Choo Barbecue. Whether you like pork, chicken, or beef, oh yes, Choo Choo Barbecue with their savory rub flavor. Oh my goodness, it's making me hungry right now. You add in their delicious smoked aroma, and you have set the table for a perfect meal with Choo Choo Barbecue. That's right, Choo Choo Barbecue. Why don't you give them a call right now? 423-843-9554. That's 843-9554. Call 423-843-9554. Choo Choo Barbecue. You know where it's located, off of Hickson Pike, right there at the Valley Brook area. Don't kid yourself. Your stomach is already on the way.
Here you are, working to keep your customers happy and manage your cash flow. IRS problems are the last thing you need, but here they are, flapping about you like vultures. Get help from Eric Pelton and his team of accountants at E.J. Pelton Company. Audits, letters, proposed return changes, 1099s, penalty threats. Pelton Tax Resolution Services brings peace of mind and helps you keep more of what you've earned. EJPelton.com. Offices on Brainerd Road and in Saudi Daisy, just north of the Bilo. That's E.J. Pelton. Call 622-3156. Think ahead. 622-3156. Tax-free investing, it's not what you make, it's what you keep. Edward Jones financial advisor Patrick Neal. Patrick will be giving a seminar December 10 at 6 o'clock and offering free barbecue dinner. His topic will be tax-free investing. It's not what you make, it's what you keep. We'll be talking about strategies in reducing your tax burden and in buying municipal bonds. Call 870-7894. That's 870-7894. Edward Jones, and your host will be Patrick Neal, making sense of investing.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
Fox News Talk 1240.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
Fox News Talk 1240.
A good rainy morning or afternoon. Which is it at 11? I'm not sure. But 11's that transitional sort of period where you're not really sure if it's morning or afternoon or whatever it is. I guess it just depends on when you get up. If you get up at like 3 in the morning, then the day's already half over for you. So I don't know. It's probably time for your afternoon nap by now if you work late shift. But this is Binary. We're going to be helping you with your smartphone, your computer, your computational device of any sort that you might have, tablet, what have you, here on Hot News Talk Radio. If you have any questions, call 423-800-8949. That's 423-800-8949 if you have any questions about computers or smartphones or tablets, or you need any help with really anything regarding those things. Call us at 423-800-8949. That's 423-800-8949. Now, this kind of weather is kind of the worst for getting caught in terms of getting lost. This kind of weather is the worst for getting lost. I've had it happen to me before. It was kind of awful. So how can you avoid that? Well, you probably don't want to carry around a giant GPS with you, because as cool as they are or were, they're kind of bulky nowadays, and you don't want to clamp it to your dashboard. And you probably already have a smartphone with a data plan already, and you probably have a unlimited data plan or a gigabyte data plan or what have you. So chances are you're probably okay when it comes to data. So what you can do is, there's two different options that I really like anyway when it comes to navigation on your smartphone. Two that I can confirm work anyway. You have the Waze app, that's WAZE, which sounds like a radio station. It's not WAZE. We're actually WSDT, which makes things even more confusing here at Hot News Talk Radio. But WAZE is a great app for navigation. In fact, it's sort of a traffic social media network. It's kind of weird to get into, but basically what happens with the Waze app is, let's say you're driving down the street and you notice that there's a speed trap, and nobody likes speed traps. Nobody wants to get pulled over because you drove 5 miles over some arbitrary number that some city councilman came up with, or someone in TDOT. You don't want to get caught for that, because that's silly. You're not going to pay $250 because of an arbitrary number. So what you can do actually on the Waze app is you can report that there's a speed trap at this location, which warns other drivers that, hey, you should slow down here so you don't get fined $250 for some arbitrary number that some city councilman set up. So now you've saved somebody's butt when it comes to having to pay money. That's always nice, because none of us like paying money for having done nothing wrong. And so now you feel good about yourself. Well, the cool thing about it too is you can see other people's reports. So you can see if someone else has reported, hey, there's a speed trap here, and hey, there's a wreck here, or hey, my tire blew out here, and oh, there's some congestion at 75 and 24, which always happens. There's always congestion at 75 and 24, so you may as well just take that as a given. But I digress. The Waze app is great for that. That's WAZE. Definitely get the Waze app if you're wanting to travel and you want to know how to get there. You can just put in your destination and it'll take you there. Another one that actually works on the same platform is the Google Maps. Google Maps now has, on your phone, has live navigation, and I really, really like it. The live navigation on Google Maps is some of the best that I've ever seen on a smartphone anyway, outside of a standalone say GPS, which really you can't beat right now. But outside of that, you really kind of can't beat Google Maps when it comes to navigation. It's especially the updated one. If you used Google Maps a few years ago and you didn't like it, try it again, because they actually have updated it. In fact, I just got a brand new update. So it says download an area to get directions offline. So I can try actually to download this area where I'm at, and I can actually navigate while I'm offline, which is kind of cool, because then I'll be able to navigate around without having to actually use any sort of data connection, which is always fun. But I'll download the map right now. There we go. Now I've got it. So let's say I want to go from the office to, say, I need to know how to get to Erlanger. So I'll type in Erlanger Hospital. And actually it comes up right there. Erlanger Medical Center, East 3rd Street, Chattanooga, Tennessee. I just tap that, click on the little car symbol in the lower right-hand corner, and then tap on the little arrow, which will tell me how to get there. And now it's telling me live how to get there. And I can actually turn my phone, and my virtual car will turn along with how I'm turning my phone. And it tells me that Erlanger is about 13 minutes away. So fun stuff. That's a great way to navigate if you're wanting to get to where you're trying to get to, which is always fun. You don't want to get lost, especially in weather like this. So all you got to do is download the Google Maps app or the Waze app, and then you can find your way to where you're trying to get to. There's lots of different navigation apps. Try them out, see which one works for you. But I tend to like the personally anyway, I tend to like the Google Maps one the best. That's just my favorite. Google Maps tends to be the best navigation app for me. Hey, this is Hot News Talk Radio AM 1240. We're brought to you by Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds. There's a total store sale going on now. You need it now, not after Christmas. Nobody likes to be late. 50, 16, 70% off on designer jewelry and gifts. Also, get cash when you sell gold, silver, bracelets, rings, diamonds, jewelry. Rick Davis will pay you cash personally. That's cash, cash, cash. Get some today at Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds. The number to call into the station is 423-800-8949. That's 423-800-8949. So be sure to call in if you have any questions or comments about the show. Maybe you needed some help with your computer or some apps or what have you. 423-800-8949. And we are also, today is Wet Nose Wednesday here at Hot News Talk Radio. We're talking about Boogie the Labrador Retriever at McCameyAnimalCenter.org. So go to McCameyAnimalCenter.org. Now, names that have Mick in them, MC, always confuse me. So I'll tell you how to spell that. That one always gets me because I think, is it MC and a space? And so MC, right, is for Mick Kamey, MCKAMEY animalcenter.org. And it's all one word. So MCKAMEY animalcenter.org. And you can see the Labrador Retriever, Hot News Talk Radio's Wet Nose Wednesday here at Hot News Talk Radio AM 1240. And we're always here, of course, at hotnewstalkradio.com. The number to call in is 423-800-8949, 423-800-8949 if you want to call in. So let's say you want to get rid of cable. I want to get rid of cable. I'm trying to convince my folks to get rid of cable, and I have been for a long time. For some reason, they're stubborn about it. They want to keep watching horrible shows on cable that are really boring, and it's the same show over and over and over again. For some reason, let me just get into this because it drives me nuts. For some reason, my parents are so obsessed with crime shows. I don't know why. My mom will watch crime shows endlessly, and they're incredibly boring to me because it's always the same thing. We suspect the husband of having killed so-and-so. It's like always the same thing. They're terrible. They're boring. They're really not that great anyway. Like the production value is low. The stories are always boring. There's nothing redeemable about crime shows. But for some reason, everyone's obsessed with them. But if you're not, then there's a lot of options for you. Say you want to watch different shows on your phone, right? Well, there's different options. Let's say you're wanting to get rid of cable entirely. You don't want to have to bother with the cable bill anymore. You just want to pay for internet, and you don't want to bother with the whole cable TV nonsense. Well, that's called cord cutting, actually. There's an actual media coined phrase for it. It's called cord cutting. So what you do is you download, or rather you subscribe to a service like, say, Netflix, which is $15 a month, and then you can watch whatever's on Netflix, which varies from time to time, but the Netflix exclusive shows will remain the same. You'll get a few HBO things on there as well. Now, if you're already subscribed to Amazon Prime, actually, there are quite a few shows streaming there for you, too, on Amazon Prime. So let's say you already have it, because a lot of people actually do, then there's a lot of options for you to watch on there as well. And actually, Amazon has exclusive shows, too. So there's all sorts of fun stuff you can watch on there. In fact, I've been binge watching The Sopranos like endlessly on Amazon Prime. So there's lots of different options for you there on Amazon. Hey, caller, you're on the air. What's up?
Hey, I was calling to see if you knew about an app that could track, like if my friends or family are flying, if you could, if there's an app to track the airplane and find out, the destination.
Okay, yeah, there's actually quite a few different ones for that. So we're talking like ATC stuff, right? Like air traffic control. You want to see where the flight is while it's in the air, right?
Yes.
Okay, so one that yeah, no problem. One that I use a lot is Live ATC. I actually have one installed on my phone. ATC stands for Air Traffic Controller. There's ATC Live, ATC Simulator. There's all sorts of good ones. There's Live ATC for Android, which is actually a paid app, but there's also one called Air Traffic Control Radio. There's Air Radio USA. There's all sorts of different radar things, but Endless ATC is another one that has pretty good reviews. And basically, depending on your platform, because it does vary from platform to platform, like say you're using an iPhone, you're going to have different apps than I will on my Android phone. But do a quick search in your apps, your app store for ATC, and you'll see different apps for that. Like here's a free one called Unmatched Air Traffic Control. And you can see all the different planes where they are, and you can actually see where the planes are live in the air. Endless ATC is another one that actually shows where planes are, what the altitude is. There's all sorts of really fun stuff about tracking different planes. In fact, my friend was telling me about one, and I haven't been able to find it. My friend was telling me about this one where you could actually point your smartphone at the sky at a plane, and it would tell you which one that was. And that's so cool. It's one of those augmented reality things, and it's just so neat to be able to track planes. But the best one, unfortunately, it's a paid one. I wish it wasn't, but it is. It's called Flight Radar 24. That's kind of like the premier flight tracking app, but maybe you don't want to pay that much. That's fine. But really the best one is Flight Radar 24, which is a flight tracker. Now I know $3.99 for an app is kind of steep, but the value of it really is. It's very much there. There is Flight Radar 24 free though. So you can install that and you can see all the different flights flying around. They have some screenshots here, which are kind of funny. It shows Heathrow Airport in London, and it looks like just planes are clustered there because it's a major international airport. Atlanta Airport always looks like an ant's nest. But yeah, Flight Radar 24 is definitely the best app for tracking flights, especially if you know the flight number, like which flight it is. You can search for it in Flight Radar and actually find it and then track it as it's in the air. So Flight Radar 24 is the best way to do that. Now, disclaimer, there might be some inaccuracies. Just as a disclaimer, there may be some inaccuracies just because air traffic control is kind of a complex thing, and it's not always accurate for the consumer. It's always accurate for the actual towers, but for the consumer, you might have some problems. But yeah, generally speaking, though, I have used Flight Radar 24. Generally speaking, you're going to have some inaccuracies, but mostly it's going to be pretty accurate. So Flight Radar 24 is the best app for tracking flights as they're in the air. You can either get the free one, which doesn't have as many features, or you can get the paid one. And some features of it are identify any aircraft flying overhead with augmented reality. That's the one where you take out your camera and you point it up at the air and you can see which flight is flying overhead. You can see planes moving in real time. You can search for a flight and you can get a flight number and call sign information for individual planes. And you can see the images of those planes as well. So that's on the free version. The paid one has a whole bunch more features, but the free one has quite a bit of really nice stuff. And you can actually listen to the air traffic control radio on the paid version. But if you're not interested in that, you don't have to pay for it. Just get Flight Radar 24 and you can see all the different flights flying around. Really fun stuff. I love it. So there you go. And you can actually, honestly, the paid one is worth it from what I hear. But if you don't want to drop $3.99, hey, cool. The paid one is worth your time, though. Definitely worth your money. $3.99 is not that much, but for some reason, when we're talking about apps, for some odd reason, when we see prices on apps, we sort of shy away. We think, oh, it's paid. I don't know. I don't want to deal with paying for apps. I don't know why we think that way. Because I'm the same way. Where I see that I have to pay for an app, I'll think, I don't want to pay for an app. I don't know why I'm that way. And I know a lot of other people who are that way too. But paying for apps is a great way to support indie developers, smaller developers. So you'll see different apps that are really good. And some of them will have a donation button too. And it's always a nice idea to throw some cash their way if you really do like the app. So it's not a bad idea. Flight Radar 24 is a really well put together app. And Aviation Weather app is another one that's pretty fantastic from what I hear. Aviation Weather app is another one. There's lots of different apps out there. There's seemingly an infinite sea of apps. And if you're on Android, there are even more apps because there's not a vetting process like there is on the iPhone. But all the popular apps will be on your iPhone. So you don't have to worry about missing out too much. But it seems like there's an endless sea of apps, especially when it comes to games and all sorts of other fun things. But something to be wary of when we're talking about installing apps is not all of them are legit. That's the thing. You get like a problem where you get a problem where there's a say an app that's a flashlight and it's like 5 megs and it really shouldn't be. For some reason, we see a lot of apps like that, which are kind of obviously scams, but I don't know why people keep downloading them, but for some reason they do, and it's really weird. But there's a lot of different apps that are like flashlight app free or like contact organizer free and all sorts of different things, and they're almost always scams, especially the flashlight ones. Now, there are flashlight apps that are legit, but actually, if you have an iPhone, you've already got a flashlight, and most Android phones will have flashlight apps already installed. So like on my Moto G, actually, I have an option right there to just turn on the flashlight from my options. And I can do a thing where I shake my phone twice and the flashlight comes up. So generally speaking, if you have an iPhone, you already have flashlight that's in the system already. And if you have a newer Android phone, especially the Moto G, then you also have a flashlight installed. So there's not really any need to download a flashlight app anymore anyway. So the developers of the actual iPhones have pretty much solved that problem with the scamming thing. Something I want to sort of get into is something that I've seen a lot of people falling victim to, and it's easy to because it seems really legit, and that's called phishing. And that's phishing with a PH to make the F sound instead of an F. So phishing with a PH. And phishing is one of those things that catches a lot of people off guard, especially people who don't know what signs to look for. So let's get into phishing a little bit and how you can keep from being a victim of phishing, which sounds like a really funny phrase to say, right? Phishing. How are you a victim of phishing? You go out and get some catfish and now you're a victim. No. Well, phishing is one of those things where a scammer will ask for your personal info and make it seem like it's coming from a legit source, and then you'll give away your personal information and suddenly someone else has your social security number. So yeah, kind of a problem. Now what happens with that is, let's say you get an email that you're on Comcast, right? Like you use Comcast, just as an example. And you get an email that looks like it's from service.comcast.net saying, we have a problem with billing, and it looks like your credit card number didn't go through right. So we need you to email us your credit card number real quick so that we can charge your account properly so you can continue to get service. And then usually there'll be some veiled threat where failure to send credit card information can result in termination of service or whatever. Well, that's not legitimate, because any provider worth its salt is not going to email you asking for your credit card information. In fact, you should never, ever send your credit card info, just typing out your credit card on email, ever. Because that's not how any legitimate advertiser or a legitimate service will ever ask you for your money. In fact, if you can, use PayPal, because that's one way to add an extra layer of security. Now, it's not perfect security. PayPal is not infallible. We know that from the past, but it does add an extra layer there. So it makes it so that you're not giving someone directly your information, sort of going through PayPal first. And it does make it a little bit easier to complete a purchase online. So if the PayPal option is there, I would use it. That's just me. If you don't want to, hey, cool. But I prefer to use the PayPal option to buy things online, just to add that little extra layer of security between me and the service that I'm purchasing from, if it's Amazon or whatever. Hey, caller, you're on the air. What's up?
Yeah, I got scammed the other day where I couldn't get out of my computer, and it asked me to call an 800 number.
Oh, gosh,
That's
one
for
of those.
a fee to unlock it. And they said they were from Microsoft and Apple, so we have to be careful of those kind of scams, and just take it to a computer guy immediately. That's one of the great things about you guys is you did the apps in advance, and you tested them, and you know what works and what doesn't. You asked earlier about sharing an app, and I want to share the flashlight app.
Sure.
It's actually called Flashlight. I'm not sure if it's an Android app, but it is an app. It is on your smartphone, Apple phone. And this is so cool because it not only gives you a flashlight, but you can change colors with it. You can also use it as a Morse code sender. Light actually flashes. So if you go to the top of the screen and you go to 1, it flashes 1 or 5. Or if you type in a name and hit send, it will flash out a Morse code signal.
Wow, that's
so
really
if
cool.
You're a geek and you want to learn Morse code, it does that, and you can actually communicate with each other. Each of you have one of those. So, and it's a very thin app. It's just called Flashlight. Really, really cool.
That is really neat. I really like the idea. Thanks for sharing that.
I think.
Yeah, and ransomware is what that's called, by the way, where it locks your computer and you can't get into it, and it asks you to pay a certain amount of money so that they'll unlock your computer. Don't ever pay money, by the way, if that happens to you. Take it to a computer repair shop immediately if that happens to you. There's quite a few different computer repair shops in the area. Any one of them will help you out. So just take it to one of those places and get your computer fixed. Because if you get ransomware on your computer where you can't restart it, or you start up a computer and it says you have to pay a certain amount of money. My favorite one that a lot of people seem to get a lot is one that pops up that says, we found out that you've downloaded child pornography on your computer. And it says it has the FBI logo and everything. and it says pay a certain amount of money or else, you're going to go to prison, basically, which is not how the legal system works for the most part, sometimes. And the FBI is not going to flash stuff on your screen telling you that you're going to be arrested. It doesn't work that way. Chances are they'll break down your door and shoot you if that were to happen. So that's not how that works. So if you happen to get a message like that pops up on your smartphone, do not give them money, because they're most likely not actually going to give you your computer back, and you just gave money to scammers. So yeah, don't do that. Hey, caller, you're on the air. What's up?
Hey, I want to tell you about an app I have on my phone.
Sure.
And it's a Walmart app, and what you do is you'll scan your receipt every time you shop, and it will find other food stores or any store out there that have beat their price. And if that, like Publix, if you buy, say, like a 2-liter Coke at Walmart for $1.50 and Publix has it for $1, then Walmart will give you 50 cents. And then I've got $39 saved up. And then what they do is if you have a Bluebird card, you can transfer that to the Bluebird or a gift card. So every time you go to Walmart on any sale, you have up to 7 days to scan your receipt with that app, and then you can save money. Like I said, I've got $39 saved up so far.
Wow, that's really cool.
An awesome app.
Yeah, great. Thanks for sharing that.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great option for you. The Walmart app, you can scan your receipt if you're a regular Walmart shopper. I'm not, but if you are, hey, then you got the Walmart app and you can actually scan your receipts with that, and you can get credit, either store credit or actual like cash with your Bluebird card if you happen to have one of those. So lots of great options for you there. And it's kind of funny how stores are really pandering to the consumer in a lot of different ways nowadays. Like a concept like that would not have flown, say, in the 80s and 90s. That just wouldn't happen. But now with the smartphone, with the internet, where it's so easy to compare prices, you only have to pick up a paper ever to compare prices. The stores have a lot of incentive to beat each other. With the information age having come, now stores have all this incentive to be the best store ever. So this is great for the consumer, or customer, as I like to say, because consumer sounds way too barcode for me. I don't dig that. I think customer is a much better way to put it, but that's just me. I'm the crazy free market anarchist, right? What do I know? So the customer really just wins in the end with the information age. So shopping has gotten a whole lot better, and better for us with the information age having come. Now, there are some side effects of that, like intrusive marketing and intrusive data collection, and for purposes of commercials online. There's lots of side effects to it, but that's true of anything. When good comes, bad comes too, just as a side effect. So the information age has really made shopping a lot better for us, and prices have gone down a lot in comparison to the last few years too. So those are your tech tips for the day from us here at Hot News Talk Radio. If you want to get more information, you can always call us at 423-800-8949, and also tweet us, Hot News Talk Radio on Twitter. That's Hot News Talk Radio on Twitter. Colin Cowherd is coming up next here on Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Slowly drying out through the afternoon. Much better out there with some lingering clouds, highs upper 50s. Tonight, decreasing clouds, colder by morning lows mid-30s. For Thursday, lots of sunshine. On the chilly side, though, highs only to the lower 50s, with more sunshine for Friday and Saturday as well. Experience what holiday memories are made of. Rock City's Enchanted Garden of Lights is open nightly through the holiday season from 6 to 9 p.m. Joy, wonder, and magic await for the whole family. See rockcity.com. And I'm S'mores Team 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Ward.
On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
Celebrate the holidays with cheer and basement bargain prices at One Stop Package in the Sunrise Market Center's Sunny Daisy. The brand new One Stop Package beverage store on Old Dayton Pike, just north of the Thrasher Light, with the best prices in town. Enjoy the lowest prices on beer, wine, liquor, and soft drinks. Hey, mention you heard this ad on Hot News Talk Radio and get $5 5% off your purchase. That's right. Mention you heard this on the radio and you'll get 5% off. The brand new one-stop package beverage store in Sunny Daisy. Their prices are always the lowest prices in town. The lowest prices you'll find in the finest of adult beverages. The brand new one-stop package in South Sunny Daisy at the Sunrise Market, featuring great prices on gas, bread, and milk. The Sunrise Market just across from Charlie's in Sunny Daisy. And remember, always drink responsibly.
Get 10% off every case of wine.
Lay your burdens down at the woodhouse. Leave all your worries at the door. Just take some time. We're transforming life.
Happy holidays at the Wood. From the Woodhouse Day Spa. Holiday gift cards available at Chattanooga.woodhousespas.com.
I'm the type of guy that likes a big breakfast, a couple of eggs, bacon, and some gravy and biscuits. I get that at Wimpy's. I know they have specials at lunch every day. That includes a big meat and three menu. At night, I want some good comfort food. Maybe some smoked brisket, pulled barbecue, or ribs. They've got that too. Wimpy's the type of place where you can go in and have a good conversation, catch up what's going on in Saudi Daisy, and have some great food. That's why I go to Wimpy's. You know where it's at, on Dayton Boulevard, right across from City Hall. That's Wimpy's. Give them a call, 423-332-6201. Did you hear me? It's 332-6201. Wimpy's. They're even on Facebook. At Wimpy's, I know your mouth is watering just like mine. So let's go to Wimpy's.
We live in uncertain times. From extreme weather and natural disasters to civil unrest. Don't panic. Be prepared. With protective gear and medical supplies, tactical and camping equipment, long-term food storage and water purification, ammunition and knives, alternative power solutions and lighting, P5 Preparedness has the products and training classes to help you through life's catastrophic events. P5 Preparedness at East Brainerd and Panorama Drive.
Tax-free investing, it's not what you make, it's what you keep. Edward Jones financial advisor Patrick Neal. Patrick will be giving a seminar December 10 at 6 o'clock and offering free barbecue dinner. His topic will be tax-free investing. It's not what you make, it's what you keep. We'll be talking about strategies in reducing your tax burden and in buying municipal bonds. Call 870-7894. That's 870-7894. Edward Jones and your host will be Patrick Neal, making sense of investing.
I love my Flex loan from Advance Financial. I needed cash, I needed it fast, and I didn't want to get a payday loan. My Flex loan from Advance Financial is not a payday loan. It's a line of credit. I only pay for the cash I need, and I only pay for the time that I need it. There's no lump sum payment. My Advance Financial Flex loan is an open line of credit, and I can get cash anytime I need it.
Visit one of our 24/7 locations and get the cash you need today. Advance Financial. Welcome.
Cell Surgeon, an affordable quick fix for your smartphone and tablet in Northgate Mall next to Old Chicago Pizza.
We do the best quality work. We have the best customer service, the most competitive prices around.
Cell Surgeon, a painless operation to fix your sick device.
Well, if you have a cheap charger or something that's not really designed for your phone, it can mess with your battery. It can actually fry your phone. So you need to make sure you have a quality product that's going to be designed for your phone.
Cell Surgeon, your smartphone doctor's in the house at the Northgate Mall next to Old Chicago Pizza.
If you charge it in the morning and, by noon, it's at, 50% under normal use, that means your battery's pretty much dead. And once you've reached that point, it starts to deteriorate.
Cell Surgeon, call 423-668-0100 or go to cellphonerepairchattanooga.com.
We do free estimates. If your phone's not working properly, bring it in. We're more happy to take a look at it and diagnose it and see what we think is wrong with it at no charge. Most phone repairs can be done in 30 minutes or less.
Cell Surgeon, an affordable quick fix for your smartphone and tablet in Northgate Mall next to Old Chicago Pizza.
Don't take it in the bathroom. Don't ever put it in your back pocket. And don't charge your phone while you're sleeping.
Cell Surgeon, an affordable quick fix for your smartphone and tablet in Northgate Mall next to Old Chicago Pizza. Call 423-668-0100 or go to cellphonerepairchattanooga.com. That's cellphone repair.